Have you ever really wondered, what does the Chinese Communist Party really fear? Don't look at the United States. Don't look at the West. Look at Taiwan. Because Taiwan is the mirror the CCP refuses to face. Imagine this tiny island. A tiny island out there in the middle of nowhere, smaller than most Chinese provinces. But it keeps them up at night. It does. It keeps them up at night. Not because it's a military threat, not because it's rich in resources, but because Taiwan proves them wrong. Taiwan is the living, breathing proof that Chinese people don't need authoritarianism, that they don't need censorship, that they don't need Xi Jinping. And that's terrifying to the CCP. Taiwan is ethnically Chinese. It shares culture, history, language, yet it chose a different path. And instead of collapsing into chaos, like the CCP always claims would happen without strong centralized control, Taiwan did the opposite. It thrived. It became a democracy. It embraced free speech, human rights, a free press, and open elections. And guess what? It didn't fall apart. It succeeded. In fact, Taiwan is one of the most advanced economies in the world today. It dominates the semiconductor industry. It runs free elections. It has a vibrant, open society. Artists speak freely. Journalists criticize the government without disappearing. People debate politics without worrying about being arrested at 3 a.m. And this is what China could be if it wasn't chained down by the Communist Party. And that right there, that's the problem. Because for the CCP, it's not about land. It's not about sovereignty. It's about control. Taiwan isn't a threat because of what it does. It's a threat because of what it represents. A free Chinese society. That's why you see the CCP losing their mind over maps. That's why they go after airlines. That's why they go after celebrities. And anyone that dares to refer to Taiwan as anything other than a province. That's why they threaten countries just for hosting Taiwanese officials. That's why they block Taiwanese athletes from competing under their own flag. They can't even handle a song, a symbol, or a slip of the tongue. The reason for that is because they know the truth is simple, and it's dangerous. If 1.4 billion Chinese people ever realized that they could live like the 23 million people in Taiwan, the Communist Party would be over. And they know it. That's why they flood social media with bots, trolls, and fake accounts, pushing the narrative that, well, Taiwan belongs to China and that the West is interfering. It's why they push conspiracy theories. It's why they try to smear Taiwan's leaders and spin lies about what reunification would look like. They want people to believe Taiwan is some lost child that needs to be brought home. But the reality is, Taiwan never asked to join the dystopian family. Now let's talk about what the CCP's actually done. They've sent military jets into Taiwan's air defense zone almost every single day. They have simulated attacks. They've openly rehearsed amphibious invasions. They've launched cyber attacks against Taiwanese government sites. They've interfered in Taiwan's elections. They've tried to sway the outcomes with disinformation and cash. This isn't diplomacy. This is psychological warfare. And when the tactics don't work, they threaten total war. Xi Jinping has said repeatedly that reunification with Taiwan is inevitable and that he won't rule out force. Let me repeat that. I'm going to say this again. He won't rule out force. This isn't a peaceful thing. This isn't a peaceful talk. This is a hostage negotiation with a gun on the table. And what has Taiwan done in response? Well, they've stood tall. They've kept their democracy. They've trained their defense forces. They've asked for international recognition, not to provoke, but to survive. And still, the world tiptoes around the CCP's feelings because too many politicians and companies are addicted to Chinese money. Let me say this. The world needs to grow a spine. We keep hearing this nonsense about how calling Taiwan a country will provoke China. You know what actually provokes China? The truth. The truth that Chinese people can be free. The truth that an open society can thrive in Asia without communism. The truth that the CCP isn't needed or wanted or really even legitimate. If China invades Taiwan, it won't be because they were provoked. It will be because they were exposed. And you know what's even crazier? There are Westerners, some of them online influencers, some of them, unfortunately, academics. So we call them academics, who parrot the CCP's talking points, who call Taiwan separatist or say, oh, it's just complicated. No, it's not. It's not complicated at all. Taiwan is a free country. They have a flag, a government, a currency, elections, a military, a national identity, and most importantly, the will to remain free. What's complicated is why anyone still justifies a regime like the CCP. China claims it's about unity, but unity forced at the barrel of a gun isn't unity. That's submission. That's conquest. And let's not forget what reunification actually means to the CCP. It means turning Taiwan into another Hong Kong. Strip away freedoms, censor the media, disappear the dissidents, replace pride with fear, replace elections with hand-picked puppets. And if you think I'm exaggerating, ask Hong Kong what happened when they trusted the one country, two systems lie. Ask the students. Ask the activists. Ask the journalists. Oh wait, you can't, because they're either in jail or in exile. Taiwan knows that, and that's why they're fighting to stay out of Beijing's grasp. And we should be fighting alongside them, not just with weapons or trade deals, but with truth, with recognition, with the courage to say what's real and what makes the CCP uncomfortable. Because if the world can't even say that Taiwan is a country, what makes you think we'll have the strength to defend it when it's under attack? The CCP doesn't fear missiles. They fear freedom. They fear examples. They fear ideas. And Taiwan is all of that and more. So don't fall for all this propaganda. Don't get quiet. Don't stay neutral. This isn't a both sides issue. One side is a thriving democracy, and the other is a brutal dictatorship, okay? That silences its own people and threatens war against anyone who disagrees. I know where I stand, and I know what Taiwan represents. This isn't just about a country, it's a choice. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.